Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Critically Drinking. I'm your host, Rashawn. Now, listen, today is going to be a little bit more casual today. I do have a lesson hidden in here, but we're going to open up with the breakdown, and we're going to slide into the tea sipping. What is good, Dury? Hope everything is well with you. So I'm not going to waste a lot of you guys' time. I know everybody comes in as they come in, and everybody's not going to see the entire thing. But and hello, Ine. Good to see you today. I got to make it rhyme. I don't even know why. I'm so corny. I'm so hallmark. I'm a hallmark person in my in my other life. Um, Today we're gonna go down like a rabbit hole, a TikTok thread, a playlist of sorts from this one lady's relationships because I found it interesting. I found it so interesting. I'm probably gonna make fun of her. I know Yella's got a thing going on today. Anybody, man, if you can, if you're a Twitcher, man, go over to Yellow Peel Coffee Co. on Twitch, man. He's doing a 36-hour stream. I don't advise 36-hour streams, but he's doing a 36-hour stream. Support a streamer, donathon, all that good stuff, subathon, bidathon, all the goodies. So go support your boy. He's over there getting it in, gaming. He's gonna switch it up with some chatting at some point. But he's definitely several hours into that. So go support your guy, Yellow Peel. I have compiled a composite video of a few things to start it off. Then I'm going to go ahead and move to the TikToks one at a time. If the TikToks are not playing or loading properly for me, I'll download them. It'll just take a few seconds because my internet speed is great. I'm not sure why StreamYard is having an issue playing videos from outside sources. Last time I tried YouTube, everything worked fine. So hopefully with TikTok, it'll work. I know it was dragging a little bit for Bree the other night. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I have the video pulled in. I know Candidan says she may stop in. I have no idea what Bree is doing. She's out and about. Yella's doing his thing. So I don't think anybody else will be pulling up. But, we'll see. We'll chitty chit chat chat. Hopefully everybody is well. I know I have the cloud watchers. Everybody's watching from work, working and lurking, all that good stuff. Here's Tribe Media Group. Peace to you. Peace, 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 peace and love, peace, love, and respect. Definitely keep doing your thing over there. Love the content, and I love the fact that you guys stand on your principles and values and don't shift for anything or anybody. That's very commendable in this day and age. I'm seeing a lot of people kind of stand up for the antithesis of that. I'm seeing people kind of push and argue against accountability, push and argue against a standard a standard operating procedure, like a way that people can live their lives in kind of a normalcy and decency. I'm seeing so many people argue against it, like kind of throwing up their hands, and it's kind of weird, but it is what it is. I do believe people should be free, but I also do believe people should have a baseline of a standard, because those very same people I've seen argue. I mean, last couple of days I've been watching people argue against decency, and I'm like, it's kind of strange. They'll also be on here complaining about, especially there were guys last night. They'll complain about the way women behave in society, but then say everybody should just do whatever they want. Like, how are you going to sit and spend week after week after week complaining about how women dress, the way they operate, and then say, well, people should be able to do what they want? That makes sense. So, it is what it is. Congratulations to everybody who has a grad. Harris Tribe Media Group. All the people who have somebody graduating, congratulations for getting them over that milestone. I'm going to tell you, though, to the people that are, I'm going to leave that alone. Those kindergarten and 8th grade, 3rd grade graduations, boy, I'll be like, we're doing too much. We are doing too much. But for all y'all that got somebody out of high school, out of college, I'm more proud to you. But I'm going to pull in this video. As soon as I do pull in this video, it's going to start to play. And it says, we're going to start where she starts. I found this video first, and I'm going to start with it because I found it to be somewhat interesting.
So, I was today years old when I found out that I am demisexual. I'm not even mad at you if you think it's some made up bullshit, because I definitely did.
Oh, she curses a lot, so if you have sensitive ears, might not be the day for you. Also, what was I going to say? Demisexual is something new to me. she's going to go into explaining it. I'll make fun of her later. What's up, Leah? Good to see you today.
But I really wish I would have learned about this when I was 17. A person who is demisexual forms a sexual attraction to a person after an emotional connection is formed. This is significant to me because it helps to explain why I've never truly been able to connect with and understand other women when it comes to sex and relationships. Every woman that I know is capable of looking at a picture of a man or a woman and saying, oh yeah, he can get it, or I never fuck him, except me.
Now, real quick. Now, she said herself, she's not like other women. She's a deviant. She's different. She can't do the same thing other women do mentally and emotionally, right? We would call that like what's that, like a neurodivergent. She diverges the way her neural network works. So she's in some way neurodivergent. That's going to be important later. What's up, Kansas in the building? Kansas in the building. Boom. Make sure y'all go and check out, man. You know, I'm gonna be a little bit of a hater. I'm gonna get some of my hater. Check out the conversation Kawhi Bree and Kansas had the other day, because they're getting more views than me on my channel. So I'm getting a little bit of hater, but you know, I love it. I'm so glad they had those conversations. I enjoyed listening to them. I'm a fan. I'm a fanboy. So I am here for them.
I have never been able to decide if I'm sexually attracted to a person based on looks alone. I've never actually had a type or even been able to identify physical characteristics that I think are really sexy about men, which caused me to question if I even liked men at all. I've been questioned and made fun of for who I've chosen to date my whole life because it's never made sense to people. The relationship with my ex-husband is a perfect example of everything I'm describing right now.
Now, she said her ex-husband. She's never been attracted to anybody like that, all that, whatever, blah, 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 all that. Y'all heard her. What it do? We got Yellow Pill in the building. And, man, please make sure y'all take the time out to go over to Twitch today. Check out Yellow Pill Coffee. He is doing a 36-hour stream, subathon, supporter streamer stream, man. So go support your guy, man. We got these streamers who are out, not out here doing this crazy stuff, not out here. I'm not even throwing shots. Not throwing shots when I say this. I'm not trying to intentionally inflame anybody. But not out here attacking women, not out here attacking men, not out here talking about this, that, or the other, not doing slide digs at other content creators, not doing any of this stuff. I'm just actually trying to provide a space where people can go and hang out and enjoy their time and not even be too heavy. So, man, go support your guy, Yellow Pill Coffee Co. For sure. I'm going to go make a Twitch account and come through your marathon. If I see an account, don't block me. Oh, yeah, okay, what's up? She said, what? She's a demisexual. I'm over here where it's safe. If I was a Twitcher, I would subscribe, but you could be a Twitcher. It's free. It costs you nothing. Yeah, over there where it's safe. Man, you say that. Don't say that, because as soon as you say I'm over there where it's safe, that's when the safety is going to disappear. But anyway, she's a demisexual. I'm going to go back just a little. I'm going to pull a yellow. I'm going to go back just a little bit.
Questioned and made fun of for who I've chosen to date my whole life because it's never made sense to people. Mm-hmm. The relationship with my ex-husband is a perfect example of everything I'm describing right now. Of all the women that told me that they also contracted an STD while they were pregnant from the men that have cheated on them, every single fucking last one of them have continued a sexual relationship with that man, except me. At first, I thought I was this anomaly because my ex never gave me any sexual gratification to begin with. But more than that,
now she was married to this guy. Never gave her any sexual gratification. I'm just trying to, pull some stuff out.
I realized that I am unable to form or even sustain a sexual attraction to a man who I am not emotionally connected to.
Okay, so she was not emotionally connected to this person who she married. Okay,
but I never got a chance to actually be sexually attracted to my husband because we never had that emotional bond. He never made me feel loved, safe, secure, beautiful, heard, valued, none of that. So
how did you end up marrying this guy?
I never wanted to fuck him. And I thought all women were like that, except the dumb sluts. As it turns out, I'm the fucking weirdo. So most encounters felt like a violation.
So she's the weirdo. She's saying this. She's the weirdo. Let's go.
And we had 4 kids in 3 years. And I know a lot of women have sex with their men when they don't feel like it. So I'm not screaming SA. That's another conversation too. Even though I didn't have any sexual feelings towards my ex-husband because he was emotionally abusive, which I know a lot of women can relate to, even though a lot of y'all are still sucking and fucking your narc boyfriend of 13 years, which I still don't understand.
Narcissist, check that off on the bingo card. Narcissist, let's check off bingo. Yeah, but she never had an emotional connection with this guy, never had a sexual attraction with this guy, never was sexually fulfilled, but stayed married and had 4 kids with this man who she's now divorced from. Godless Sewing in the building. Hello. I didn't see it the first time. I love the fact that you have Dunning-Kruger on your profile. I love the Dunning-Kruger concept. I love it so much. I bet she wishes that women could pick their husbands. Right. Yeah. I wish we could pick our husbands and our baby dads, our child's fathers. Oh, I bet she. Oh, God.
I knew I wasn't attracted to him in the beginning when he was acting like Prince Charming either.
I wasn't attracted to him in the beginning, but yet I married him. Oh my God, I love this lady so much. She's amazing.
I'd experienced sexual attraction before, but it was pretty infrequent. I was just confused as fuck because all I knew was that being cute and nice is not enough to get my panties wet. And it seems to work for everybody else. I really just thought I was so good at self-pleasure, no man could compete with me. That was until a big bald-headed man with a beard proved me dead ass wrong.
I just want to point out that delusion. I'm so amazing. Like that's that. I'm so amazing. I'm self-made. Like I just thought nobody else could compare to me. I'm like, that's just that little delusion right there. I just want to point that out.
3 years ago.
I love that.
Thank you. But it turns out I just need that emotional connection.
She needs emotional connection, y'all. She needs an emotional connection to feel sexually stimulated, which is fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Not saying there's anything wrong with that at all. I actually believe in that. I'll say it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. My issue is how, if she was never attracted to this man, how did she somehow wind up married to him? I found that peculiar. Well, thank God. She goes into the story a bit. Big bald ninja with a beard. Y'all better listen up. Hey, listen. She goes into this. And that's what we're doing today. We are going down a TikTok timeline. We are going through this lady's story. There's going to be a lot of plot holes. I'm just letting you know up front. A woman that talks like that, a man that talks like that, there's going to be a lot of plot holes, and she's not going to make a lot of sense. So we're just going to enjoy. We're just going to sip tea. Let's not take it too seriously because she's obviously not going to tell us the full story. Why would you end up marrying somebody that you were never attracted to in the first place? Anyway, until she met King. Come, he got a big eggplant, a hurricane tongue. Yeah, buddy. And she talks about him. We're going to hear about him today too, because she was not, I don't think she was divorced at the time when that came about either. So that's all happening today.
Yeah, this is the motherfucking one. Let me get my setup together. So my ex-husband never told me that he was autistic.
Now she starts off talking about her ex-husband never told her that he was autistic. She thought she was the weirdo a minute ago. She thought she was different. She's neurodivergent herself. How did she end up dealing with the guy who she ends up thinking is autistic? Let's let her.
But what I learned over a period of years is that he was a crack baby from South Florida. They used to call him Raising Isaiah because that's how he used to act from that movie, Raising Isaiah with Halle Berry. He was in special ed his whole life, and he was a heavily medicated foster kid.
Now, this Raising Isaiah crack baby special needs guy was able to get her to marry him and give her 4 kids. That's interesting.
I, on the other hand, was on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. I tested gifted in school, and I got the highest ACT score of my graduating class. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to make another video explaining how this whole relationship even happened. But from my perspective, we were an interabled couple. I was everything that he wasn't, and he was just happy to have me.
He was just happy to have her. Losing Isaiah is kind of funny though. It's funny. It's funny, but how special do you got to be to like fall for losing Isaiah in a weird way? Like you're marrying this guy and giving him kids. She said he's autistic. She said he's autistic, a crack baby, all of these things. Opposites be attractive sometimes. I'm with you. But again, she also was not attracted to anybody that she's not emotionally connected to. What does she base her marriage off of? What drew her to him? The fact that he needed help? So nowhere in here are you going to hear her say that she has a problem that led her to somebody who was a special needs guy. Nowhere. Nowhere are you going to say I was so deficient in some way. She just told you she was so amazing that that's how they paired up. I'm so amazing that I got with this guy. I couldn't even notice that he was deficient. He didn't tell me. I couldn't tell. I didn't think anything was wrong. Why would he have to tell you? Crack baby, losing Isaiah. I can't even remember what the other one was. She said, if he's that bad, why would you pair yourself? Why would you share that gene pool? That's questionable decision making.
Or at least that's how it started. We even had this running joke that I was 6 months smarter than him because that's about how long it would take for him to catch on. For example, I remember telling him once that I wanted to wait until the baby was born to learn our baby's gender. And his typical response to things that he didn't like was to be very aggressive and very demeaning. So instead of being like, no, I want to know the gender of my baby, he was like, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my fucking life. That's stupid. Then 5 months later, he had this amazing idea. Ooh, Candace, it'd be so cool if we just waited till you had the baby to figure out if it was a boy or a girl, don't you think? And he was like that with everybody. This man had no grace, no cool, no tact, and I didn't know if that was because he was neurodivergent or because of how he was raised. Nature versus nurture.
And again, she still married this guy, and he's like this with everybody.
He was a commercial truck driver, so a lot of our relationship was long distance. And he could talk to me on the phone for hours, but communicating in person was, ugh. I had so many conversations with this man that I felt like shouldn't be a fucking conversation. He would come home from being on the road for weeks, even months, and not say shit to me. When I would say hi to him, he wouldn't even return the greeting. And I'd be like, hey, babe, are you okay? And he would like try so hard to avoid eye contact with me. Mind you, this is a grown-ass man in his 30s that I'm married to and live with. And he would swear that I just wanted to argue.
That she's married to and live with. Like nowhere in here will you hear her say like, man, I messed up. I messed up.
Candace, I've been home 3 days and I ain't said one word to you and now you just want to fight with me. And I tell him, I'm not fighting with you. Honey, you've been home for 3 days and you have not said one word to me. We're married, we're together, we love each other, we miss each other, we have kids. I ask you if you're hungry, what you want to eat, and you just don't say shit. Honey, that's not normal. You literally stepped on me and wouldn't even say excuse me. That's rude. I remember asking him so many times, can you just say yes or give me a thumbs up or make eye contact with me so at least I know that you hear me? I never knew if he was being an asshole or being autistic, but the truth is probably somewhere in the middle.
Never knew if he was being an asshole. And she said narc earlier, and abusive, emotionally abusive, or autistic. I thought that was an interesting parallel. But I'm going to bring in something. I listened to this guy, Dr. Ryan Taraban with Psychax. I listened to him quite a bit, and I'm going to share something that he shared because I find that, you know, we always say things about, you know, women choose the bad guys, women like assholes, blah, blah, blah. He kind of spoke to that. So I'm going to play that in here with a couple of snippets and some other stuff. So after that, then we're going to go to her TikTok thread and go through her discussion of her marriage. She ain't even like the ninja. She married him and gave him 4 kids, though. Married him and gave him 4 kids, and that seems to be a common thing. Wait, did she say how long they courted, dated? Nope. She won't give the details. She won't give all the details because the details will let everybody know that she's an idiot. She also talked about that demisexual stuff where she said she's neurodivergent. Without saying she's neurodivergent, she's neurodivergent. But she's special. She's on the far opposite end of him. I'm so great that it made up for his. That's so stupid. Anyway, what up, Breezy Bree? How you feeling today? Oh, man.
I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is Psych Hacks, Better Living Through Psychology.
We're going to get back to her.
Today's short talk is Women Want It All. So, what happened in this study? It turns out that attractive women wanted every single thing on the list. And this was surprising to the researchers. The women looked at all of these qualities and attributes and collectively said, yeah, sounds good, I'll take it. It's a fascinating study because I think it's very honest. But here's the really interesting part. While the women apparently wanted it all, they didn't want everything equally. The women expressed a positive desire for all the attributes across like 24 different categories. However, some preferences were much stronger than others. And according to the study, the 3 categories that the women cared the least about, do you know what they were? You're going to love this. That he be intelligent, that he be loyal, and that he be kind and understanding. The women would prefer to have those things than not, but those 3 things actually weren't even statistically significant, according to the researchers' analyses. Intelligence, loyalty, and kindness.
Intelligence. I don't think she prioritized intelligence because, you know, he was a special ed kid, a crack baby, and whatever else she said about him that was very negative. Didn't need loyalty because she stayed with him, like she said, after he got her pregnant and also gave her an STI. And kindness. He wouldn't even talk to her when he was there. But again, she stayed long enough to provide 4 children over the course of 3 years. So again, I just brought that in there because I thought that study a long time ago when I heard it was pretty interesting. That at the bottom of the things women seem to, and this is a generalization, and he's going to speak to that as a generalization. Generally, they're not even statistically important. They want them, of course, over not having them, but they can take it or leave it.
Of the nearly 24 things that attracted women want in a man, these were apparently the 3 attributes they could most readily dispense with. So, what's the upshot? If you're taking the study at face value, it means men. If you want to be a viable option for very attractive women, you need to listen to what these women actually value. If you're putting a lot of energy into your intelligence, your loyalty, and your kindness, especially if doing so detracts from other higher value attributes like being physically fit, earning a lot of money, providing a house, etc., you're probably not going to be picked for dodgeball. You got me? Or, which is really just the other side of the same coin, why women love assholes.
I never knew if he was being an asshole or being autistic, but the truth is probably somewhere in the middle.
Now, it's not actually true that women love assholes, but I'm going to explain how this belief originated using conclusions from the research. So, guys, I'm going to help you understand why it's not actually true that women love assholes. To do this, let's entertain a little thought experiment. Let's say you could work at 2 different companies, okay? At one company, you would have this really awesome boss. Like, the boss really cares about you, supports your goals, invests in advancing your career, understands when you need to take time off, and values your perspective. I mean, this boss has all the best intangibles, okay? So that's one possibility. However, at the other company, you would have a boss who frankly doesn't give a shit about your dreams and your goals and is really just interested in using you for the labor that you can provide. But he pays you 3 times as much, gives you unlimited time off, and offers an amazing benefit package. Which company are you going to work for? The vast majority of folks are going to be willing to put up with this boss not caring about them if they got everything else they wanted for the job. They're not choosing the job because the boss is an asshole. They're choosing the job because the salary and benefits are best. The fact the boss there just happens to be an asshole is incidental. I hope this is starting to make sense. Okay, so by their own admission, women are not prioritizing kindness, loyalty, and intelligence in their search for a partner. Just like you're probably not going to prioritize, say, a company's mission statement in your search for the job. It would be great if you aligned in that respect, but it's not going to be your highest or even one of your highest priorities. women are going to go with the most attractive compensation package.
Hey, what is up? Danny Anthony is in the building, man. Appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate all the love and support. And I also want to say, man, he's right. I chose one job off of the mission statement. It still didn't work out because they didn't live up to the mission statement. So there's that.
And it's for them to decide what constitutes the most attractive compensation packages. Ultimately, this means they typically end up at the high-paying second company. And what happens to the bosses at the first companies around the world? These bosses can't offer a competitive package based on what women actually value. This means they can't compete in the looks department. They can't compete in the income department. They can't compete in the provision department. They can't compete in the emotional connection department. So what do? They focus on the few departments in which they can compete successfully with the second boss in an effort to feel superior to the men that the women actually choose as a means of assuaging their egos. And what are some of these departments? I don't know, maybe kindness, intelligence, and loyalty? You know, nice guy traits. However, if we actually take the results of this study at face value, women don't care about these things nearly as much as they care about other things, my dude. It is what it is. The idea that women are choosing men who are assholes is really a consequence of an unwillingness to look at why women actually choose men without judgment or moralizing. They're not choosing assholes, my friend. They're choosing good-looking, high-earning, interesting, and exciting lifestyle providers. And if they happen to be loyal and intelligent, even better. But they're not actually sorting for those things primarily.
Yeah.
This is the point where most women find out that this job is made for more than one person. Laundry is not a hard job. Cleaning an entire house from top to bottom when all you have to do is clean is not a hard job either. Neither is grocery shopping, meal prepping, cooking, washing dishes, balancing the budget, keeping the bills paid. None of these jobs individually are hard at all. But as your household size increases, so does the workload. Now, instead of 1 or 2 dishes in the sink, you have a whole sink full of dishes. Instead of having to do 1 or 2 loads of laundry a week, you got 5, 6, 7, 8 loads of laundry to do a week. And that's being very conservative. Instead of meal planning for 1 or 2 people, now you have to keep up with dietary restrictions, allergies, preferences for a whole entire family of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or more. And now you have the added load of adding childcare onto that. And completing those types of tasks with little kids adds a whole nother layer of difficulty to it. And when kids come into play, we are finding that most men do not adjust to that. You are still expected to do all those same things as if you didn't have little children running around all day. Oftentimes, your load got a lot heavier and his load didn't change at all. And the most disheartening thing about the whole entire situation is that your partner will literally sit there and watch you drown without offering a helping hand. Because by marrying him, you signed a silent contract. He made you a stay-at-home wife. And the first few years were awesome. You had free time, you got some self-care time, you got a chance to do some of the things that you wanted to do.
They're not choosing assholes, my friend. They're choosing good-looking, high-earning, interesting, and exciting lifestyle providers.
While still maintaining the house, though. But now that the kids have shown up, you realize that you have agreed to offer your free labor for the entirety of that marriage. And I'm not saying that you might not enjoy it, because I enjoy being a mom. And I enjoy taking care of my house. However, the costs sometimes outweigh the benefit if you're not being financially sound in your decision making. Have you noticed that the more burnout you get, the more absent he becomes? It's because under all of that weight and responsibility, you are now a shell of what you once were when he married you. It was good for him in the first 3 years too. He had all his needs met and you were awesome and fun to be around and you were spontaneous and you did all those things that he liked you do at night. And now you're beat down and you're worn out and you don't want to do those things anymore because you don't have the energy. All I'm saying is protect yourself, sis. Have something to fall back on. If not for you, at least for them kids.
They're not choosing assholes, my friend. They're choosing good looking, high earning, interesting, and exciting lifestyle providers. And if they happen to be loyal and intelligent, even better. But they're not actually sorting for those things primarily.
Not even choosing character, not choosing that. And that has to be something that I say that these women who choose these men have to live with. So instead of coming on the internet talking about, I didn't know if he was an asshole or autistic, and he was so far down on the spectrum, and he was a crack baby and losing Isaiah, and he did this and he did that. You didn't choose him for that, because like you said in the beginning, you weren't even attracted to him. You weren't even attracted to the guy. So you married him for other reasons. Why? Probably because he was a lifestyle provider. OG Patrice is in the building. Good to see you passing through. But I am going to get into her TikToks here. I just wanted to draw that parallel out, because we had that conversation a lot. But for about the last year or two, you know, that whole nice guy thing came up a lot. Why do women choose these type of men? That comes up a lot. But we have a lady mirroring this, and she's going to give a lot of her own testimony about her marriage. Of course, she's going to leave out some relevant details, but you know, we can fill in the gaps. But let us get into this. Give me a moment. Damn. Let's start going down that trail. So again, she talked about you know, quite a few things, not knowing that her husband was autistic, not ever being attracted to him, not ever feeling emotionally safe, all that good stuff. You might wonder why she was even with him, but she was with him. Let me share the screen. And we are going to continue down this journey of madness.
So,
nope, wrong one. Let me remove that too. Let me remove it all together. Let me see. Share screen. Let's try this again. Boom. Cool. So this is part 2 out of like 7 parts.
this is part 2 of me not knowing if my ex-husband was autistic or just an asshole. Remember when I said in part 1, I was everything that he wasn't, and he was so impressed with me? All the characteristics that he liked about me, he just adopted for himself and made that his entire personality. I was a band geek from the time I was in 5th or 6th grade until I graduated high school, so I played multiple instruments. I also studied Esperanto in middle school, and then I took Arabic my first year of college. I also did a lot of traveling as a young person doing humanitarian work across the US and even in Nairobi, Kenya.
I mean, she's amazing.
He was a baby kid from South Florida that didn't see the world until he started driving trucks. But when we went to court and his lawyer was talking about how his client plays multiple instruments and speaks multiple languages and still ain't fucking master English, I was over it. Something else that I thought was really strange is I noticed early on that my ex-husband would literally copy other people. His social cues, his responses, even the way that he interacted with our children was based on what other people did first. For example, he had this friend who had a toddler son, and he would FaceTime his baby and go, "I love you, I love you, I love you." And every time he said, "I love you," his baby would just laugh and roll around, and it was the cutest thing. So when we had our daughter, he would FaceTime her and just say, "I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you." Our daughter is 5, and so she'll say, "I love you" back the first time he says it, but then she just waits for him to stop talking. It's not cute or endearing when he does it, but I'm the only person that knows where that came from. Something else that he was really impressed with is my taste in music and my knowledge of pop culture. Kids that grow up in the hood typically don't have a lot of exposure, but I did. And I grew up in North County, St. Louis, so don't even try it. But before school, I used to watch Daria and Beavis and Butthead on MTV. And back in the day, in between those episodes, they would show you music videos.
Let me pause that real quick. This is irked me. I ain't really care the last time I heard her say it. It was just kind of stupid. Okay, he mimicked somebody else's parenting style. How many of us just like create everything from scratch, or have all of us taken from the examples that we've seen? We probably didn't take one for one exactly everything they did, but I would say nearly everything we have is a compilation of things we've heard and learned along the way. But judging him for that was definitely a little extra for me, but it is what it is. Von Eric is in the building. But anyway, I'm gonna let that go.
So I'd rock out to Savage Garden and 9 Inch Nails and Nirvana at 7 a.m. I love all 90s music, but the Red Hot Chili Peppers was always my favorite band. So guess who else's favorite band is the Red Hot Chili Peppers after they discovered them almost 20 years after they retired? Guess. Of course, people can develop new hobbies and interests, but this is not that. This is just copying. Nicknames, for example. I can't even think of what the damn name was. But as you know, you're given a nickname. It's usually something that you just grow up with. Somehow, somebody start calling you that shit and it just stick. But when he heard a nickname that he liked, he decided he was going to adopt that nickname to our kids. Oh, now I remember the nickname. So my grandma's dad, my great-grandpa, his nickname was Dodie. It was either my grandma or one of her siblings that couldn't say daddy, so they said Dodie, and it just stuck. So my ex-husband was like, oh, that's cool. I'm going to start calling one of the twins Dodie. No, the fuck you're not. Dodie is Dodie. You can't do that. Follow me for part 3 because it gets serious. He literally
God. What's he say?
He almost killed our kid.
Okay, I thought this. And again, man, mind you, like this lady married this guy. She married him. Like I wish she did talk about the courtship process. I wish she did talk about the courtship process because it's so crazy that she would go through all of this with this guy if she really felt this way. She obviously had such a low opinion of him, such a low opinion of this man. Never was attracted to him, in her own words, never was sexually attracted to him, never was mentally attracted to him. I'm like, my God, why would you marry this person and then start having kids? If he was a crack baby and he's losing Isaiah and he's special, why are you doing this? But I found her storytelling style quite interesting. What's the point of her saying this? Is there a lesson somewhere? Or are we just seeking validation? Man, she just trashing him on the internet. Just on the internet. He's been a narcissist. He's emotionally abusive. He's this, he's that. You know. Plus, she caught a nice little disease from him, so she's offended. She's offended. I was going to ask who was following this. I feel like she misses him. I don't know. As human beings, we're the sum total of every experience we have, and copying is part of some people's experience. Yeah, and some people need to mimic more than others because they just have less in them. They have less creativity, so they mimic. If you don't have creativity, you're gonna be learning and adapting from other people. I mean, but even your creativity is going to be based upon things that you've already learned. It was just a strange, like all the different digs she takes in him were just interesting to me. But let me bring her back in for this next part.
His husband was autistic or just an asshole. And I think this is the part where I explain how we ended up together in case you're sensing that this wasn't what the fuck I wanted. But I am going to share the story with how his stupid ass fucking behavior almost killed one of our kids. I promise. Now, let me just say, if you know me intimately, you probably already know this story. But I've been avoiding making this video since I got on TikTok last year. I swear to God, on everything I love, what I'm about to tell you is 100% true. The first time I saw my ex-husband is when I was 15 or 16 years old.
Mayhem.
At that time, I experienced my first love and my first heartbreak. And we weren't even having sex. It was just a lot of feelings. My feelings were very real. And at some point, it became clear to me that we probably weren't going to work out. And I couldn't imagine loving anybody as much as I loved him. So, trigger warning. I began to contemplate suicide. I just didn't want to feel how I was feeling. And I didn't know any other way out of it.
Oh, yes, she does.
So one night, I got on my hands and knees.
Here's where it gets good. Now, again, she had her first love. Somebody she could never imagine loving. She could never imagine loving anybody as much as she loved at this teenage love, which all teenagers feel that way. I'll never feel like this again. All teenagers seem to, if you fall in love when you're a teenager, that's how you feel. I'll never find this. I'll never feel like this again. Okay, you're an idiot because, we're teenagers. Here's where it gets good, though. I wish Yella could be here for this one because this is where she gets into her spirit realm. And the spirit realm just makes Yella feel so good inside because, oh, my God, the manifesting of it all. Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry. It just pleases me. It just pleases me so much when people get real stupid. It makes me happy. I don't even know why, but she's an idiot.
And I boohoo cried. I cried so hard, and I prayed.
Oh, she prayed.
And I remember saying, God, Jehovah, Jesus, Allah, Yahweh.
Woo, Jesus.
You know I'm talking to you. Please give me something that I can look forward to in my future.
Give her something she can feel.
That I don't want to kill myself. That was my prayer.
That was Sierra's prayer.
And that night, I had a dream. I knew.
She had a dream. Oh, she had a dream, y'all. Oh, dear Jesus. Y'all know she had a dream. She prayed. She prayed. And the Lord showed up. Hey. In the name of Jesus. Yes, the Spirit hit. The Spirit descended upon her like a dove in her time of need, in her time of pain, and ministered unto her and gave her the desires of her heart.
Knew I had identical twin boys that were 7 years old. I never saw them in the dream, but I knew that's who I was talking to. And I remember their bags were packed by the door and they were going to go to football camp for 2 weeks. And my house was laid the fuck out, okay? It was white marble floors.
Again, let me start. I interrupt. Let me start her dream over.
Yelling
Where's your dream at, girl?
them to go get. Remember, their bags were packed by the door.
Let's start your dream over. Hold up. This is all a dream. It was all a dream, Biggie.
I had identical twin boys.
We gotta
something that I can look forward to in my future, so that I don't want to kill myself.
Mm-hmm.
That was my prayer.
Her prayer.
And that night, I had a dream.
Here come the dream, y'all.
I knew I had identical twin boys that were 7 years old. Yeah. I never saw them in the dream, but I knew that's who I was talking to. Mm-hmm. And I remember their bags were packed by the door and they were going to go to football camp for 2 weeks. And my house was laid the fuck out, okay? It was white.
Beautiful house.
Everywhere.
2 kids.
Like the fucking Kardashians. But I was yelling at them to go get something upstairs that they needed for camp. And I just remember hearing them laugh and hearing them run. And when they were running up the stairs, it sounded like horses. And I remember there was a vase on the table upstairs. And they knocked into the table. The vase crashed to the ground. Again, white marble, I heard it. And for a minute, it just got really quiet. Then they just kept fucking running and laughing. And when that happened, I started laughing too. And when I woke up, I remember thinking, damn, them was some badass kids. But in the dream, their laughter was like music to my ears. I could feel my heart swell with love and happiness every time I heard those twins.
You already know, Brit.
At some point, I walked into my bedroom, and there was one whole wall that was like a big-ass mirror. And there was a man sitting on the bed, and I knew that was the twins' daddy. I knew that was my husband. But when I woke up, it didn't make sense to me. Because this man was black. My first boyfriend was a white goth kid with snake bites. Follow me for part 4.
Okay, wait a minute. She done had a dream. She done imagined twins. She done dreamed twins, and she done dreamed the man. Oh my gosh, she has the fantastic house with marble floors and vases. Oh my God, what did that doctor say? Something about a lifestyle creator? Oh my gosh, twinish here. My goodness, man. So she's having that dream of that amazing lifestyle that she's looking forward to. Oh my gosh. It sounds so amazing, doesn't it, y'all? Aren't y'all excited for her? Aren't you guys excited? It sounds exciting, doesn't it? Her dream sounds amazing. Her dream sounds amazing. Oh my God. And she starts it off with that, little twin. Ow. Yeah, God. Absolutely. It sounds amazing. So let's get back to this dream. Y'all. Funny thing is, when I watched the first few, I gathered she basically was with him because she wanted kids. And that's the thing. Lifestyle creation. He was available. Let's create this life that I can imagine. He's going to facilitate that. WandaVision for real. Hexed all the way. It was giving biological clock to me. Wow. Let's keep going, man, because I just love it for some reason. I just enjoyed this so much. Hopefully you guys like this too, because I thought it was just so messy, but beautifully messy. I didn't think it was connected to a vision. Hey, but God came through. She about to tell the rest of the details on this dream now.
Ask and you shall receive.
Welcome
back to part 4. I didn't know if my ex-husband was autistic or just an asshole. Ooh. So even though he was sitting down, I could tell this was like a big corn-fed ass dude. He was brown skinned with broad shoulders, but his voice was kind of soft. I knew that.
Now again, This is her dream. I just want to bring this back. I had to rewind it a couple times. Like, this is when she met the guy. No, this is her dream. Instant gratification. Man, ain't God good though? Won't he do it? Won't he do it, y'all?
Knew that he was going to be one of the coaches at the Twins football camp, and they were going to give him an award. So I was writing his acceptance speech, and Boo Boo was struggling to read this shit. Specifically, I remember the word characteristics was eating him the fuck up, but I found it endearing. And I remember getting onto the bed and wrapping my arms around his shoulders, and I could see our faces like in the mirror in front of us. At some point, I wake up, and you remember all that love and happiness and joy and feeling like my heart was so full it could burst. As soon as I opened up my eyes, all that shit went away. It felt like somebody died. I was literally gasping for air. It was just so crazy, and I never experienced anything like that since. Fast forward 7-8 years later. So my friend gets
7 or 8 years later, she's been holding on to this dream of this vision from God. This vision from God.
Me to download this shitty ass app on my phone called Badoo. Don't do it. And this guy just randomly messages me. And he's like, so you can look at my pictures and not send me a message? Mind you, I found his profile by looking at people who looked at my profile. So what's the problem? And I told him that shit. But now he wants to talk to me. And I don't want to talk to nobody on this app.
Oh, G. Patrice, she's confused. She's confused. If you'd have heard the way she talked about this man, but then he was everything that she wasn't. She was amazing. She was a scholar. He was a crack baby. What person who thought so highly of themselves would reach down like that? Somebody she wasn't attracted to physically or emotionally. It doesn't make a lot of sense unless you start adding some other pieces together, which he won't do for you.
So I go from being really short with him to just being a bitch. And he responds in a very charming and lighthearted way. Now I'm feeling kind of guilty because he seems like he's actually a decent person. So I give him my number and he calls me and we really hit it off. He's really easy to talk to and something about him feels really familiar. We were trying to figure out how our paths crossed, but it just wasn't adding up. And eventually he starts talking shit about my St. Louis accent. So I check him on that country ass South Florida. Screet, strawberry, scrape. Yeah, I say her, but you can't say shit with an ST in it. So we're testing out my theory. And all of a sudden, this motherfucker says, characteristic. Do you mean characteristic? Bitch, I wanted to jump out of my fucking skin. I have chills on my whole body. Even saying this shit right.
Woo! Hey! Glory! Glory! The dream that God has promised her has come to fruition. Amen. Amen. Woo, yeah. Oh, amen. Woo. Ooh, Lord. The Spirit is moving in here, everybody. The Spirit is moving. Did y'all hear the Spirit move? Did y'all see that mighty move of God? He said character. He couldn't say characteristics. He couldn't say characteristics like the man in her dream. And that was the sign that God had sent her, that this was the man for her to marry. These are the details I don't care about. The viral hustle. I'm trying to tell you, man, God came through, man. God be coming through, y'all.
Right now, I have chills on my whole body.
She's divorced from that
man.
man.
Wanted to jump out of my fucking skin. I have chills.
She's divorced from that man and still getting chills from that dream coming true. The dream that she had to divorce herself from. That became a nightmare. It's amazing. The feelings are amazing.
On my whole body. Been saying this shit right now. Ain't no motherfucking way I'm talking to the twins' daddy. So I tell him, look, if you don't ever want to talk to me again after what I'm about to tell you, I completely understand. But the first time I saw your face was in a dream when I was in high school. We had identical twin boys. They were 7 years old. They played football. We were happy. We lived a comfortable life. It was good. But he was wrong with it. In fact, he asked me for a baby for his birthday. He had a lot of regrets about how he handled his relationship with his daughter, and he was really trying to make it up to her. But he missed all the cute baby stuff, and he really wanted to experience that. And soon after, I became pregnant. And when I got my ultrasound, it turns out I was 16 weeks along. So we learned the gender
of
the baby the same day. Turns out, for the past 4 months, I had been carrying identical twin boys.
She skipped a lot, didn't
Follow
she?
me for part 5.
She skipped a lot, right? She skipped a whole lot. She skipped a whole lot. She skipped a whole lot. She's talking to this guy on the phone. They hitting it off. He can't say character. He can't say characteristics. He can't say characteristics. He can't say the word. So that's the man that God sent for her. Now all of a sudden she's married and pregnant, right? Big skip. Time skip. Time skip. Man, don't you love a time skip in a movie where you got to try to figure out what happened? Like, what happened? Did I blink? Was I slow blinking? Man, time skip like a muh. Like a muh. I love it though. I love it. I love a good time skip, man. I hope y'all do too. Oh my God. All of a sudden she's married. She's pregnant to this guy that she's never been attracted to, that he was an idiot and he was a test tube baby. He was a crack baby. He's special needs or an asshole and he's a narcissistic and emotionally abusive. But she married this guy because he couldn't say characteristics. Isn't that amazing? I want to make decisions like that. I want to marry somebody because they can't say strawberry. I want that to be my path. Like, I think that's the way. The woman that can't say strawberry, if she says strawberry or screwberry, if she say something stupid like that, that's the woman I'm gonna marry. I'm gonna make my whole life decision on something like that. And I need God to put that in a dream for me. That's what I'm gonna manifest for myself. Trying to make me pull up. I'm trying to work for the white man. Stop it. Yeah, babies are a gift, man. They're not humans. They're not humans. They're things. She is. She's got problems. The greatest tool to see how someone will be as a parent is to look at how they treated their previous children. But she's a scholar. She was at the top of the, she got the highest score in the SAT in her class, ACT. She's amazing. I prefer to time skip to her telling me all this stuff I don't care about. He was her equal. Yes. One of the greatest mirrors of who you are as a person is to look around at your relationships, not your familial ones, but the ones you choose in your adulthood. That kind of tells you who you are. I've been keeping track of the color of Rashawn's do-rag and his mood on stream. I will make a chart. I can't stand you. What's up? Let's talk to Better Black Life. And what is up, Quantum? Hopefully you all are having a wonderful day. Yes, Dory. The content we live for. I'm picking a woman based off saying something stupid. Then there's plenty to. Whoa! Jeez. Came in hot. Now listen, we're about to get back into it with this lady here, Candace. Candace is such a pleasure. She's such a treat. She is such a treat, man. She blessed my soul with this story of inspiration, God granted vision and dreams. It's good to see God is still working miracles in this day and age. A lot of us thought that he had kind of fell off the scene. We was waiting for him to come back, but he's out here still moving. Mighty moves of God are still happening under our noses. And thankfully, Candace is here to give us her testimony.
Welcome to part 5 of I didn't know if my ex-husband was autistic or an asshole. So now that I'm pregnant with the twins, I see this as a confirmation from God that this is a divine union.
Absolutely.
Clearly, we are supposed to be together. So I started doing whatever the fuck he said, because I ain't about to fuck up my destiny. Everything I did was because my husband said so. And I didn't give a fuck who liked it and who didn't. If he wanted to eat the same dinner 4 days in a row, damn, that was probably a sign too. That's what I did. And little by little, I started to hate my fucking life.
Real quick, Leah, yes, I believe everybody deserves love, but not everybody can have a relationship. Everybody deserves love. Like somebody that accepts you, that cares about you. Everybody deserves that. As a human, I think we all should have somebody that cares about us, that accepts us. I think that should be like something we should aspire to. But relationships are for competent people. Relationships need skills. Skills require competence. That's the problem with people like her and her guy. I can't say Pythagorean theorem. I hope me and my future wife never talk math. Facts. She reminds me of why I rather listen to men. But it wasn't God ordained anymore. No, because remember when I played that video and the lady talked about the work they had to be putting into a relationship? Like the work starts mounting up. The work starts mounting up and the lifestyle life ain't life no more. You don't get to be cute and be free and have all your free time because you got these twins now. You got these kids and it's a lot of effort. It takes a lot more time than you thought. And they cry through the night and your husband's on the road because he's a truck driver. So he'll be gone for weeks or months at a time. So you've got these twins by yourself. Got this nice house you got to keep up too. It's probably a lot of work. It's probably not what she wanted. She probably didn't foresee the work. God didn't tell her about the work. God just told her about characteristics. God told her about marble floors. God told her about the vase. God didn't tell her about the work or the diapers. And that smell. Oh, that smell. Oh. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's our God-ordained person. Do you deserve love if you are not willing to reciprocate loving behavior? I think I've had to learn to separate love from the relationship. Love and relationship are different. I think everybody deserves love. It may not be romantic love. Everybody deserves love. As humans, I think we all need love. We need somebody that accepts us. We need somebody that loves us, somebody that cares for us. I think all of us need that. I think everybody deserves that. That should be like our stock character is to be loving people, loving humans. That should be our stock. Now, if you're not willing to reciprocate, that means you do not love. Now, if you don't know how to reciprocate, if you don't know how to be competent within a relationship, that means you do not have love, or you don't have the capability or capacity to love, which makes you unqualified for a relationship. So somebody could love you, but you can't be in a relationship with them because you don't know how to love them back. That's why I'm trying to separate those two. Shout out to family in the chat. Let's let her go a little bit more. Because this
I did. Crazy. And little by little, I started to hate my fucking life.
She started to hate her life.
The first issue for me, that's what I did.
She did whatever he wanted. She did whatever he wanted. But she started over time because of the work. Because of the work.
I started to hate my fucking life. The first issue for me out the gate was the sex. The dick wasn't dicking. And I was...
So again, she wasn't attracted to this guy. We played at the very first video. She wasn't attracted to him sexually. She wasn't attracted to him sexually. She wasn't attracted to him emotionally because she said that's how she finds sexual attraction is through emotional connection. She said he never did that. Yet she married him because God said the person that you marry won't be able to say characteristics. So now she wants the sexual connection that she knew wasn't there in the first place because she said that herself. Because the man can't say characteristics and he can buy marble floors.
I was very vocal about that because we was going to figure that shit out, okay? Till we get it right, we going to fuck some more. But his schedule didn't really allow for that. He was always away more than he was home. So forget about carnal desires. He's missing out on all the twins' milestones. This was all the stuff he missed out on with his daughter, and now he's missing out on it with the twins.
Oh, what did Leah say? What did Leah say? Oh my God, Leah just said that. Leah just said that. Oh my God. Leah just said that. The predictor of the way you'll be in a current relationship is the way you were in your last relationship. Bam. Oh my. He's having the same problem with these kids as he had with his prior kids. Who would have ever thought? He probably has the same lifestyle. He probably was trucking. He probably was a truck driver before, and he's a truck driver now. He's gone for weeks and months at a time. Wow, I did not expect him to spend so much time away from his child. Oh my gosh, I am surprised. Maybe I am stupid. Maybe I am the crack baby.
But you can't be mad at a man for working, so I didn't hold it against him. At that particular time, I was still living in St. Louis, and my mom was living with us. My grandparents used to come to visit every weekend, and of course, I still had the company of my friends. So it worked out. Until it didn't, like every fucking time my ex-husband came home. Because whether he was at home or on the road, he was never actually present. We moved to Marietta shortly after the twins' first birthday. It was just me, him, and the twins. Neither one of us had family or knew people down here. As a new mom of twins, I really struggled with being isolated from my support system. I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but this was feeling like being a married single mom. Anytime.
The work mounted, like that lady said, that clip I played, that lady said the work catches up to you. It's cute when it's just you and him and he's gone and you got all this time to yourself. It's real cute. It's real cute.
Anytime my ex-husband was home and I would ask him to do anything with the twins, it was a problem. If I asked him to watch them so I could go to the grocery store, he called me every 5 minutes. All of a sudden, it was like he didn't ask for this shit. But one day there was an incident, and I never asked the motherfucker to watch my babies again. One time I asked him to help me with the twins' snack time. Of course, that was a problem, but I would make the snack. I just needed him to put the twins in their high chairs and watch them eat. Snack that day included pineapple chunks. I had to cut them up small because the twins only had 2 teeth. I dropped the knife and went to the kitchen sink to clean it. So my ex-husband grabs the plates to give to the twins. And I say, hey, there's 1 piece of pineapple on that blue plate that I didn't cut yet. Can you please get it up? And of course, he says nothing. So I say it louder. Can you get that big piece of pineapple off the plate, please? Crickets. So I say, hey, can you hear me? And he said, too late. I peek my head around the corner and Cabe is choking. And my ex-husband is an arm's length away on his phone. I went into full panic mode. I run over to him and I'm screaming, oh my God, my baby is choking, help me. That's not enough for my ex-husband to break attention from his phone. You know what my ex-husband says? No, he ain't. I watched my baby's body go limp. That was one of the worst moments of my life. Let me know if you want a part 6.
Oh, yeah, we want a part 6. Yeah, we want a part 6, you crazy lady. Of course we do. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? I think you are. I think she's crazy. But I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Give me a second. So give me a moment to pull that up. So it's the work motherfuckers don't actually want to do. Don't want to build for longevity. Absolutely not. Nobody wants to do the work. There's an old children's story. What is it? The Little Red Hen. What's the one where they baking the bread? I know Bree always has to remind me what that was. Was the Little Red Hen? Nobody wants to help me knead the dough. Nobody wants to help me bake the bread, but everybody wants to eat. Everybody wants to live comfortable. Everybody, Umar said it. Nobody want to sweat. Everybody wants to be comfortable. It was great up until she had to do the work of taking care of the kids that she was dreaming about. I love pineapple. Don't choke on it. Apex in the building. What is up, my guy? Appreciate you. Man, let me bring this chica back in here. In her. Oh, man, because she is crazy and I love it. I love it.
Autistic or an asshole. And this incident with the pineapple is when the light bulb went off.
Oh, now it goes
Everything
off.
I said about him before was just a little quirk up until this point. Now, to his credit, my ex-husband delivers about 5 or 6 blows to my baby's back. The pineapple flew across the room on the second, but now he's the hero, and he has some concerns for me. So he says to me, I worry about you and the twins when I'm on the road, and I think you do a good job for the most part, but you just cry too much. And yeah, I was hysterical. Crying, screaming, praying, you name it. But as best as I could, I gently reminded him that if he was on the road, our child would have never been given a choking hazard. And if he knew what it felt like to be me in that moment, he might cry too. But you know what changed after that? No more pineapples. If he found a can of Dole pineapple chunks or tidbits, it was a fucking problem. Never mind the fact that the kids have molars now, no pineapples. Even the size of the fruit didn't have shit to do with it. It was the fruit. And he was dead ass. And he would remind me of that incident as if I could fucking forget anytime I brought pineapple into the house. And that's when I knew he ain't playing with a full deck of cards. And that changed everything for me. I saw firsthand how easy and how quick somebody could get seriously hurt if I continue operating with this man like he's normal or healthy or safe, because he's not. And from that point forward, I never complained about his hands-off approach to raising children. You could keep doing what you're doing, but y'all got to realize something. From the outside looking in, it looked like we had it made.
Oh, yeah, she had the lifestyle.
A young black man put a ring on my finger, a Benz in the driveway, and I didn't work. To them, I had it made. So nothing was ever as bad or as serious as I thought it was. And when I consulted middle-aged black women that had been married 20 and 25 years, they encouraged me to stay and just count my blessings. Turns out their husbands were hands off with their kids too. Their husbands ignored them too. Their husbands cheated too. They was getting whack dick too. And if they wasn't, they was probably getting their ass whooped at some point. And either way, they still had to work. They told me to pray on it and give it time. And I did. And that's when I stopped fucking listening to people, because I realized people care more about what it looks like than what it is. And I had to unlearn.
Oh, really? Oh, really? People care more about what it looks like than what it is. Why did you pick this guy? Because you cared about what it looked like instead of what it was. How How? Because you get and marry a man who you are not attracted to emotionally or sexually, unless you were worried about what it looked like. How? But again,
learn a lot. And I had to let go of fear. Fear of being a single mom, being a statistic, being judged by people, not being believed. Fear that I was going to fail. And most importantly, I had to get rid of this fear that I was going to create more little black boys and little black girls that had daddy issues because I was selfish and I lacked patience. All of that shit is a fucking trap. Fuck hitting the wall. I'm trying to run into it. Where's the cat lady sign up? Man, I start learning all kind of weird, sick ass shit about him. Mental disability or not, I'm out. Do you want another 6-part series of my 3-year-long divorce? Or do you want a quick story time of how I almost killed him first? Or how I saved his life? And thank God I did, because I'd only have half the content. See you in the next one.
Like she said, she wouldn't even have the content if it wasn't for this man. Oh my God. I'm so tickled by this lady. I'm so tickled by this lady. She was worried about putting black boys and black girls out there with daddy issues, but wasn't careful about the type of man that she chose for the dad. What kind of mess is that? Let me see. Which one did I just click on? I should have labeled these better. That's on me. Let me see. So that's the one. Hold up. Which one am I clicking on? AOYV. Nope. This one. Bam. All right, cool. Let me see. Yeah, it's crazy. She only has half the content now. Yeah, she does. She does a whole thing about the divorce, and I'll let y'all check that out. I'm gonna go through the marriage and a couple of other ones, and then I'll put her link to her channel if y'all want to see the rest of the stuff, because I found that so delightful, because she got everything that she deserved. Nobody got more of what they deserve than her. Nobody. Because if that's how you choose, like that guy said, if you're not choosing for the characteristics of kindness and loyalty, well, then you got the unkind, disloyal person. You got that. You got what you wanted. You chose based on money. You chose based on other stuff. You got what you chose for. You got it. And if people are going to continue selecting for what they're selecting for, you get what you get. You get what you're asking for. So either you need to learn to ask for something different. Your dreams need to not be about marble floors and twins. Your dreams might need to be being taken care of by somebody that loves and cares for you and respects you. If you can't dream that, if you can't see that, if your God doesn't want that for you, maybe you got the wrong God. Like maybe you're doing the wrong. Like, come on, y'all. She got everything she asked for and then didn't want it. Immediately, as soon as the work started hitting, she was like, oh, what happened? This ain't what I wanted. I started hating my life. As soon as the work hit, as soon as he wasn't just giving her whatever she wanted and she had to take care of some kids that she dreamed of. And then he's like, I didn't ask for this. He didn't. It was your dream, not his. Well, he did say, I want you to give me a kid. I'd like you to give me a baby. My bad. He did ask for that. Literally, according to her, he did ask for that. My bad. But we're going to let her get back into this.
Even if I didn't know if my ex-husband was autistic or an asshole. Now, this is the part where I thought I was done, but it seems that I've offended a lot of people. And because I don't have the capacity to respond to you all individually, here's the video.
Oh, this is so cute. You know, snapback season. Snapback season. You gotta get your, was it clapbacks? Clapback. Gotta get your clapbacks on people when they, you know, in your comments. You say you put that all that on wax in social media. Somebody's gonna comment on it. But it's clapback time.
I didn't think my ex-husband was an asshole because he was autistic. I thought he was an asshole because he kept trying to emulate Charlamagne the God and Kanye West. But ultimately, I wanted to believe that he was a genuine person that meant well. And when he showed me that wasn't who he was, I did what a lot of 20-something-year-old women do. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe he's just a product of his environment. Or maybe he has undiagnosed autism.
So in her 20s, this Nobel Prize, Nobel laureate, this was it Mensa, this is MIT level intellect, because she talked about how she was so amazing and she studied all these languages and she got the top scores in her classes. She's so smart. She's amazing. And she was everything that he was not. She was rationalizing all this stuff away. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think she's rationalizing it now. I don't think she was rationalizing. I think she knew exactly what she was doing. I think she knew exactly what she was getting. She was getting somebody that would do whatever she wanted because he had a different mental processing. So he would do a lot of what she wanted. He would just comply a lot. And she was okay with that when she was in her 20s and was trying to chase things. Now, all of a sudden, life is getting hard. And she's having to put in work, and it's not fun anymore. But we all get what we ask for. Then we realize that it wasn't it, and so we make changes. That's life. It's the constant crying over it that gets under my skin with people, right? So if he is autistic, why are you going out of your way to drag him? Because she's, and we're going to talk about this real quick before we get into this, for her drag. Dory put this in the chat. My ex was an abusive, narcissistic asshole. It's the classic sign that she is an abusive, narcissistic asshole. It might be narcissism. I don't like the way that we're using weaponizing clinical terms. But if we're going to do it, what I think is happening, I kind of claim to this from the Derek Jackson and Danae Jackson, because everybody's like, oh, Danae, oh, sweet little Christian girl just got done so wrong by the narcissist. But I listened to her talk, and I listened carefully. And she said a lot of things that were concerning, much like this lady. She didn't say it as passionately, but she said a lot of concerning things that showed a lack of character, a lack of moral judgment, a lack of a lot. She lacked a lot. There was a lot of deficiencies there. And there was a lot of scheming. There was a lot of plotting, a lot of planning. What I believe is the people that pair with narcissists, there's something called the dark triad traits in psychology. Dark triad traits. Me and Bree, I think we did a stream on that once. There's narcissism, there's Machiavellianism, and then there's sociopathy or psychopathy. It's one of the pathies. It's one of the pathologies. It's psychopathy or psychopathy or sociopathy. What I'm going to say is that people who pair with narcissists and are comfortable in those relationships have a Machiavellian nature, which is a manipulative nature to get whatever it is they want. They'll do whatever it is to acquire what they want. So you'll deal with somebody who you believe is less than you. You'll deal with somebody who you believe has autism. You'll take the fact that they're on the road because you get everything that you want. You'll get the house. You'll get the vase. You'll get the twins. Everything that you want. It doesn't matter what ends you take to get it. No matter how much less of him you think of him. If you're not attracted to him, none of that will matter because the ends justify the means. That's Machiavelli. So I believe people like this are also on that dark triad. And I believe there's also a lack of, like, the fact that everybody, because Mr. He said, like, man, she's cold. The fact that you could get on him so I don't even know what the word is, but she's very vehement about all his negative qualities that she married. And she stayed with this guy and produced kids with multiple times, 4 kids in 3 years. If you could speak this ill of that man that you were with, I also believe you might have sociopathic traits. She probably has a lack of care, concern, and sympathy, empathy, all that stuff. She probably has some of that. How could you get out here and think this would make people, and people will empathize with her? They will, unfortunately. But how could you sit out here and trash the man who's the father of your children? How could you trash the man that you married, that you spent your years with, that you chose? How could you trash him so vehemently if you had a caring bone in your body? So I believe the same people who will be out here saying, "Now they're a narcissistic abuser." You're a Machiavellian sociopath. That's the opposite side of the spectrum. You complete the coin. You draw each other to each other. They're the one side. You're the opposite side of it. That if we're going to throw around these, psychological terms, these people like her here are probably sociopaths, and they're Machiavellian because they'll do whatever it takes to get what they want. So then you are what you attract. I don't think you are what you attract. I believe it's more likely that what you attract is like completes whatever you have set up. It's like it's a fit. It's a puzzle piece fit. So you aren't the exact same thing, but you have a complementary nature. So the fact that he's a narcissist fits up well with your Machiavellian nature. So because he thinks so highly of himself and you're willing to play yourself down to get everything you want out of the narcissist, it matches up. And you're a sociopath, so you don't care. You don't care the fact that he gets all the shine and takes all the attention. You don't care. It doesn't hurt you any. And you don't care about his feelings, which is why the narcissist, like, I know Bree said something about discarding. You won't even care that you got discarded because you're a sociopath. So she doesn't really even care probably about him at all. Never did. She wasn't attracted to him and still married him. And she's willing to dog him. She's putting this on the internet. She has kids with this man. So these kids can then see this about their father. You cannot care about these kids and put this on the internet about their father where their friends could see it. You cannot have any compassion or empathy for your own children to do something like this. That's sociopathic. But she wouldn't have half of the content if she didn't do it. That's Machiavellian. The ends justify the means. So that's what's out here. There's a lot of people who are in some sort of personality disorder or on their way towards one, or they have some maladaptive behavior, or they have some sort of minor dysfunctions, whatever. But there's something else that balances the scales out. If you're selfish and it's somebody that has like a savior complex that feels like they need to pour into you to fix you, you're going to balance out. Neither of them are good and neither of them are the same. But I think stuff balance out. Which path are you? Socio or psycho? That was a Harris Tribe. That was a Harris Tribe stream. But she leaves out just enough information to leave her something else that Mr. He said also talked about. Plausible deniability. Plausible deniability. So can the premise be that she also doesn't care for those children? I believe she how could you? How could you put this out about the father of your how could you put this out about their father? If this were not social media, if she were talking to other people about their father like this, everybody would be like, don't bash your child's father to other people. Everybody would think that was the wrong thing to do. Why are you gonna, if that gives back to them, don't tarnish his image. Don't be that, because he may have a great relationship with them. He just may have a poor relationship with her. This is the thing that a lot of men complain about. You're poisoning my kids against me. How could the kids listen to this story and not think he's the villain? Because she's setting herself up as the hero. She was the amazing one that spoke all the languages, and everything he did was to copy her. It's crazy to me. But again, that's my perspective on it.
And I just need to exercise a little more patience. But I didn't know a lot about autism, and I still don't. I didn't know a lot about marriage, so I wanted to seek the help of a professional. But my ex-husband didn't. Eventually, he shared with me that he had been in therapy and counseling sessions his entire life, and he believed that it didn't work because he went in there and didn't talk and nothing changed. Go figure. And that's when I consulted YouTube. Then I was introduced to narcissistic.
Oh my God. Hold on.
Personality. Been in therapy and counseling sessions his entire life, but I didn't know a lot about autism, and I still don't. I didn't know a lot about autism. I think he's autistic. I didn't know a lot about autism. I think he's autistic. I still don't know a lot about autism, which means she never invested any time to investigate autism. If you thought he had autism and you wanted to make it work, I just need to be patient. And you want to go to therapy. You want to go to therapy about this. How did you not learn anything about autism? Because you didn't care. That's not what you wanted. Know a lot about marriage, so I wanted to seek the help of a professional.
She wanted professional help.
But my ex-husband didn't.
He didn't. She wanted professional help.
Eventually, he shared with me that he had been in therapy and counseling sessions his entire life, and he believed that it didn't work because he went in there and didn't talk and nothing changed. Go figure. And that's when I consulted you.
Now, again, she said she wanted professional help. So because he doesn't, she goes to YouTube. That's your professional help? She's not as smart as she portrayed herself to be. She got the top ACT scores and all that from where? What class was this? How smart are you to professional help is balanced out by YouTube? Well, he doesn't want to get professional help, so my desires, are just gonna go away. I'm gonna go to YouTube. That doesn't make much sense. But because it don't work. Just saying shit. She cares none. Because she just said they went to therapy. He's been in therapy his whole life. And he's the same guy that she's complaining about. So either therapy doesn't work or it doesn't work for him. Because like she said, he just goes there and doesn't talk. If he's autistic and doesn't talk, if he's not hyperverbal, That kind of therapy would not work for him. She said he didn't talk to her, and that's his wife. She said he avoids eye contact. Talk therapy would not be beneficial to somebody that's on the spectrum that has aversion to eye contact and opening up talking. It doesn't make sense. Why would you even push that? Because that's the only solution you know, because you've heard it on social media, which is why you then went to YouTube. She said he went into therapy not wanting to talk. Can it be said he didn't care either? No, because she's also telling you that he's autistic and has problems communicating verbally. He has problems verbalizing. He has problems responding to verbal prompts. Talk therapy would not work for somebody based upon what she said. If he's really autistic and has those problems, which she said he has, we haven't heard from him. Talk therapy wouldn't be finished, even if he cares. You can't have somebody do something that's not within their capacity. That's like asking a deaf person, can you hear me? That'd be dumb. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? It's stupid. We ain't got to be that dumb. YouTube DSM states the opposite. Facts. I'm sure Autism Speaks will not appreciate how she's handling this. She didn't learn anything about autism. She didn't even bother. She didn't bother learning anything about autism. She wanted professional help and didn't even bother doing that. You know what she did? She picked up her phone and went to social media. That's when I consulted YouTube. Like, YouTube's a professional. I consulted YouTube? No, you watched YouTube videos. That's not a consultation. It's not a consultation. Oh, Jesus Christ.
YouTube.
What's up? I digress.
Then I was introduced to narcissistic personality disorder.
Oh, my.
He had...
Oh, my. And she goes to social media and is introduced to clinical terms by the Dr. YouTube, by Dr. YT. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She's got clinical terms now. She's armed with clinical knowledge. There's her professional. I know narcissistic personality, this NPD.
He had all the traits of being an overt narcissist. Now, if he was autistic, was still to be determined. But he was
definitely he's a narcissist. I don't know if he's autistic, but I know he's a narcissist because Dr. YouTube told me. Dr. YouTube, PhD, MD, LSID, MXRXXRP, LSCCD. What in the world? So that particular therapy would not benefit him. So then how does he interact daily? According to her, he spent all kinds of time not talking to her. He didn't interact. He was on his phone. She went to get confirmation, not actual answers. Why did she spend time watching autism? She didn't even spend time watching autism videos. Y'all should see what WebMD told me I have. Man, listen, I'm a conjoined twin. I just found that out yesterday. How does he talk to get life done? I'm curious. And that's the thing, Quantum. Autism and neurodivergence manifest in a whole, that's why they call it a spectrum. There's a host of different ways that it manifests in physical and mental and emotional differences from the rest of us. So like, he's a truck driver, so he can spend a lot of time by himself. He probably doesn't have to do a lot of talking to other people, but he probably has a lot of technical skill. Oh, so she know that, but not if he autistic. Exactly. I missed a lot. He is actually autistic, or was something we don't know. A lot of things she said about his avoiding eye contact and not being verbal and being so literal, it makes me think he probably is on a spectrum or neurodivergent. I won't say the spectrum. I don't know about autism, but he has some neurodivergence. Based on what she's saying, I would believe that. But I'm also not a medical professional. He probably just don't like talking to her, and that's possible too. That's possible too.
Definitely an asshole. And I needs to get the fuck away. I discovered Rebecca Zung and Dr. Rami on YouTube.
Okay.
And I'll share my story of divorcing a narcissist later. It was devastating to my ego to think that I was being manipulated. He didn't buy me flowers all the time because he loved me. It was just an act. What made me special is that I was compassionate and easily controlled. I did everything he said because I wanted him to be that sweet guy that he was in the beginning. But that was never who he was. It was just an act. So he wasn't accidentally bumping into me and not saying excuse me. He was fucking pushing me. He didn't come home and ignore me because he lacked social skills. He knew it bothered me, and I would spend the rest of the day trying to kiss his ass and figure out what was wrong. he was fucking with me. Interesting. So I focused on this overt narcissism and abandoned the idea that he was autistic for a while.
And you see how quick that happened? Oh, that sounded so good to me. I abandoned the idea that he was autistic, which I have evidence of, which I believed for years. I abandoned that to go with this. He's doing it on purpose. I've talked about this before on my channel. Assumed negative intent. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. There's something in our culture, and I really feel like it's pervasive. We assume negative intent. Something happens. You had to be doing that on purpose to hurt me. You had to be. And that's a narcissistic trait. Everything's about me. There could not have been anything going on in my life that happened that negatively impacted you that was not about you at all. I couldn't have just had a bad day and sneezed and you're like, you spit on me. No, I sneezed. I just some pepper, something. I don't know. I sneezed. Nah, you trying to spit on me. Okay. That's what's wrong with people. Everything's not about you. Her role diverged. Man, she's crazy. So he didn't want to talk to her specifically. And she's basically on a search to find what could be wrong with him. Welcome to YouTube, where all your confirmations come through facts.
For a while. Although two things can't be true at once. Now, he couldn't hide the fact that he was a little different. The person he was behind closed doors was someone entirely different from what he presented in public. Sure, he opened doors for me and paraded me on social media, but at home, he never said, excuse me, sorry, and he was overly critical about everything. I went from being the prize in my relationship to being the chef, the maid, the nurse, and the sex slave that didn't deserve any fucking respect. So please stop leaving me comments that say, I might have autism with the little cry face emoji. It makes me sad and I can't give you a hug. And considering the fact that all of my favorite content creators on TikTok are neurospicy Black women, I might be too. So stop it. We're gonna be okay. Just be your true, authentic self and work on being someone you're proud of, because it's working out for me. And to all the women that can relate to my story, set boundaries and don't be afraid to start over. Because this is really about education and bringing awareness, not about bashing.
No, really.
For good content. Welcome back.
It's not about bashing, y'all. This ain't about bashing. This ain't about bashing. It's not about bashing. Now, all these people are in her comments saying, listen to her talk about him and saying, oh man, I might be autistic. And she said, I abandoned the idea that he was autistic, but I know he's narcissistic personality disorder. He's an overt narcissist. I know that now because I went to YouTube. I listened to a couple web doctors. It is insane, man. It is insane. But it's not about bashing. Motherfuckers assuming intent. Is that a thing? You just saw it. Did you see a thing? If you saw a thing, then it's a thing. Did you see a thing? Because she just said she knew that he was doing all this stuff on purpose. I knew he was doing all this to hurt me. That's assuming intent to me. If you don't think it's a thing, then you know what? You could be like her and magic it away. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. I'm probably a narcissist. I probably have NPD. You know, I'm making negative comments about her. I'm probably doing it to hurt her. It's about bringing awareness. It's not about bashing. Let's bring this chica back up again. I thought the last one was a clapback. This is the clapback. This is where somebody got spicy. You have 4 children with this man and you're calling him the slow one? Yeah.
I keep seeing little comments like this echoing the same sentiment. And I guess you think you're saying something. Now, I know in the Black community, you chose is the great equalizer to all negative experiences with Black men. If he toe tags you, essays your kids, or exhibits any problematic behavior, you chose.
Now, again, you see the extremeness she went to? See the extremeness she went to? Considering that she chose a man who she said she was not attracted to, who she did not have any emotional connection with. I think that's a fair assessment. He didn't toe tag you, essay you. You built a family with this guy. You chose this guy, and his characteristics never changed through the duration of the relationship. So you chose. Sounds fair. He didn't switch up on you. Your complaint is that he didn't switch up. I thought he was going to switch up. I thought he was going to change. I tried to go ahead and get him to therapy so he would change. So why are we taking it to this extreme? He did none of that.
Wake up and smell the stereotype. You know better than to expect him to be a safe place for women and children. And you know he don't have the capacity to reciprocate compassion or patience. Okay, fine. I'm woke now. But what I don't understand is I'm the one that told you I had 4 kids with this man. And I ain't have to tell you shit.
And this one, I don't know what this is, but it's always the signature of somebody who was of low character. Like the lowest moral fiber. Well, I could have just not told you I stole from you. I ain't have to tell you. I could have just lied to you. That don't. Okay. You want a cookie for telling the truth? That always makes me. Anybody that says anything like that around me is automatically flagged.
But you think you're going to regurgitate the same information back to me after you sprinkled a little judgment on it, and all of a sudden I'm going to adopt feelings of shame when I didn't have them before? All because you're a stranger on the internet with an opinion? Now, I'm unsure if you're general.
Now, she wouldn't feel any shame if she's a sociopath. We like throwing around clinical terms like narcissistic personality disorder. A sociopath would not feel feelings of shame.
Really confused when children are produced in a marriage and you have no idea how the fuck women become pregnant by their husbands. But I have a feeling that you know. So I'm going to save you the talk about the birds and the bees. But ultimately, my decision to have children with my ex-husband came down to a matter of convenience.
Convenience.
The alternative was to abort children that I want because my marriage is less than desirable.
I wanted kids and my life was convenient. Those were my choosing points. He made my life convenient and he could produce kids. I think Bree said that. I thought she just wanted kids. Twin sting gratification. He made my life convenient. He provided me that. I can't remember the doctor word. He provided me a lifestyle. Whatever that guy said, the doctor I played earlier, whatever that word was that he used. He provided the lifestyle. That's what I didn't care about kindness. I didn't care about loyalty. I didn't care about any of that. I wanted the lifestyle that he could provide. Was it handsome, making money, convenient? That's crazy, man.
Or just try it again with another baby daddy. And we know how the community responds when women choose the latter. Now, it sounds to me like you've never been young and naive or made a choice that you may regret in the future, or hell, even had to learn a difficult lesson. So maybe you should be creating the series about how you never grew or learned shit. That is truly inspirational. So when you're able to own your shit and share your story of perfection with the world, let me know, sis. I'll subscribe. In any event, you don't have the ability to make anyone feel bad about anything without them giving you permission first. And trying to bash me for having children with my ex-husband just ain't it. So until then, have the day you deserve. And all sarcasm aside, thanks for helping with the algorithm, girl.
Man, she is religion away from being Danae Jackson, from cursing everybody that had negative comments. You see how well she was able to flip that back onto the listener and the watcher of her content? Y'all can't make me feel bad. Y'all can't make me feel bad. Because she can't feel bad, because she's a sociopath. And how quickly she was able to, she's so good and gifted and skilled about turning situations around mentally. That's Machiavellianism. She's on the dark triad too. So if we're going to throw these terms around, let's throw all of them around. That's why it's dangerous to expect motherfuckers to change when they're literally the way they are up front. Absolutely. Shame. Nah, it sounds like we ain't on TikTok putting our business out there. Facts. Why would somebody have to say that show that they're perfect and never made mistakes? And she would subscribe to their content. That's silly. We've all made the mistakes, but like I digress here saying, Brene and Sheree, shout out to both of you. We're not putting our business out there and hiding some of the relevant facts. She went through a whole spiel about how she was going to talk about how we got together. But that got together went from a dream beforehand, or a dream in high school. 8-9 years later, she's pregnant with twins and already married. That's almost as bad as the gap from Jesus when he was 12 to going from 30. Like, the time skip is insane. She was married and decided the husband would be the baby daddy. That's a question, but I don't know exactly how that's. I'm not sure. Looks like a statement. The sign language is deep. Facts. The sign language is deep. But we are going to touch on the divorce because the divorce is interesting too. I didn't go through the whole thing. I'm gonna play like 2 videos from the divorce, and then we can, bang on out. Let me see, because it's like crazy. It's like crazy. This is part 1 of the divorce. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat if y'all want to follow her. Give me a second. Where's Candace? Friendly Candace. She sure is friendly. She sure is. So in case y'all want to follow her exploits as she's going on, she did the whole divorce series. I'm not gonna go through all that today. Yeah. Yep. I see StreamYard is not putting that comment in. There it is. Cool. Yeah. If she had the religious component, she would have been right then. That's when she would have been talking about, I wish that your children would dry up in the ocean of, despair. The whole thing Danae Jackson did, that whole curse. I wish that everything y'all did would fall apart. She did that whole thing. That's what she would have did on that clapback video. That was the moment. That was the moment. Boom. And she felt so good about that. Both of them felt so amazing when they did that. They felt so vindicated and justified. But when you don't care.
Are you still emotionally invested in my story and want to know all about my divorce?
Yes.
God bless you. Thanks for your patience and put on a seatbelt. It's a fucking roller coaster. So this story starts in May of 2018. It's our 1-year anniversary. My ex-husband gives me a cute little blue bag, and inside it's Tiffany circlet earrings. Ooh. We go out for a dinner of fried lobster tail and cheesecake, and my ex-husband wants me to post this shit to show how good he treats me. We go back home and have obligatory sex. And a few weeks later, I discover he gave me something else. Trichomoniasis. Gift that keeps fucking giving. Oh, and I'm pregnant. What the fuck? I can't be pregnant right now. I'm trying to leave this motherfucker. And I just started a new job to make that transition a little easier. But the
1-year anniversary. She's pregnant and trying to leave.
Pregnancy is confirmed first. The cultures come back about 2 or 3 days later. My ex-husband is excited about the baby and he hopes it's a boy. And when I tell him that I have an STD, he just wants to know which one. Is it curable? You can't die from it, right? After I explain trick to him, he's fine. He doesn't even know why I'm mad. And when I explained to him that he had to be playing at some dirty pussy for him to give it to me, now he doesn't know what I'm talking about. And that's the end of the discussion. Or so he fucking thought. Because, bitch, if you really ain't know what the fuck I was talking about, you might be mad. You might have a question why your wife has an STD. You might want to know who I was fucking around with. You might feel betrayed. You keep saying you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but you're acting like you do. Why the fuck wouldn't you just say sorry? I expected him to try to kiss my ass and beg for forgiveness. Spoiler alert, it never happens. But eventually he texts me, sorry. And after a while, he admits that he cheated. No shit. For the last time, I asked him if he wants to go to therapy. Because I've been asking to go to therapy since I met this man. And he always told me no, because I was the only one with the problem. He was fine. Now that he can't deny that everything's perfect because happy men don't cheat, maybe we can get professional help. And he says no, like he did every time. He just wants a divorce.
He wants a divorce.
And around this time,
Now listen, she started it by saying she was trying to leave. Now she's saying he wants a divorce.
I ended up losing my job due to attendance. I worked in dialysis, and when your shift starts at 4 a.m., it's really hard finding a reliable babysitter to come at 3:30. So now I'm unemployed, pregnant, and about to be divorced. And I fall into a depression. And I keep the divorce and the pregnancy a secret. I'm really fucking embarrassed, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. So in September of 2018, we go to mediation together. I want this divorce to be quick and easy. We already know why the fuck we're there, and we don't need nobody to tell us how to take care of our kids. For mediation, I decide that I don't want spousal support or alimony. Let's decide on a support amount and be done with this shit. Then I start to think that maybe my ex-husband feels bad because now he wants to add all of the bills and all of the expected expenses for the new baby to the monthly child support amount. Interesting. Is he paying me for my pain? Well, all right then. So we sign the documents and go to lunch together. And now he has regrets. Follow me for part 2.
Yeah, cause it's quite possible. She's probably made up a lot of it. I don't trust people in general anyway. I just think it's an interesting story that she's weaving, but I don't think it makes her look as good as she thinks it did. Unfortunately, in our society right now, a lot of men and women who get online talking about themselves don't end up looking as good as they think they do to people who are paying attention. a lot of people, like I would say, a lot of women that will listen to her will talk about her confidence. It sounds like you got over it and da da da. You sound strong and all that stuff. So they would be bigging up her confidence and oh, you glowing, girl. You shine. And a lot of the dudes that flex online, if you listen to between the lines, what they're saying, it sounds kind of empty too. So it's like a lot of people get up here and flex about a lot of different things, but we all know if the stats that people put out are to be believed, most people are not doing as well, either mentally, emotionally, or financially, as everybody on YouTube would have you believe they are. It doesn't make sense. Stuff doesn't make any sense to me. So this is the last one I'm gonna play from her because she kind of contradicted herself. Even though she contradicted herself within the video, I was ready to leave. He asked for a divorce. That's sort of, she was already ready out. So why would you even? It doesn't matter who asked for a divorce. You were trying to get out. But then she said something a little different here. Child support is not a payment plan for pain. Listen, profit from your pain. Danae Jackson has a course that she will teach all women to profit from your pain. But somebody who thinks everything is about them would construct a reality where child support is paying me for my pain. The child care expenses would be, because it's all about me. Everything's about me. But we live in that kind of society. So let me play this last video. Bam! This is where she talks about her bald black man with a beard.
So now I have to briefly catch my mom up to speed without mentioning a girlfriend, of course, because nobody thought it made sense for him to leave his wife and 4 kids under 4.
Oh, okay. And I also skipped one video because it was more mess, but it wasn't like interesting mess.
For a whole fucking month to learn Spanish in fucking Colombia.
Oh yeah, that's right. He became a passport bro. He became a passport bro. Yeah, in his travels, he was out there. He was out there. That's cute.
Considering the fact that we were learning Spanish remotely as a family. My folks thought he was there for drugs, but I knew he was there for pussy, and I did not want to have that conversation. So after I get these beautiful fucking handbags and the most gorgeous red slingback leather heels in my fucking life, thanks, Mom. Even though I got rid of all of it, my ex-husband wants to know if I still am going to file the paperwork. And I tell him, yes, of course. Direct deposit is already set up in the...
Am I still going to file the paperwork? So now she's filing the paperwork.
Mediated agreement. And because my ex-husband is already paying the money, we were supposed to be on the same page as to when I actually filed the paperwork. He actually seemed surprised that I'm going along with our plan. And just like that, he goes from, dang, man, you really not gonna fight for us? To, you ain't what I want no way, man. I want somebody that's bisexual so we can have fun. I want to have threesomes, just travel. Go ahead and file the papers. So I'm happy as fuck. And at first, I was feeling really fucked up. It's May of 2019. And instead of celebrating our 2-year anniversary, I'm alone in a house healing from just having a new baby. And my ex-husband is out playing in some pussy on vacation. But I feel lighter. My ex-husband comes back from his trip and he's pissed off at me. He tells me I'm not family, I'm not his friend. He don't want to co-parent with me. He will never fuck with me on no level ever again in his life.
That's fair.
Apparently he was listening to my conversations and he didn't like what I had to say. Ever since I almost shot my ex-husband because he was sneaking around the fucking house, he had surveillance installed on the outside and the inside of the home.
Now, anything she said, I refuse to believe that she didn't know that there was surveillance. There's no way he put up invisible cameras inside and outside the house. So anything she said knew he would have heard. So that's that Machiavellian stuff. And that's crazy.
And I've been living under 24-hour surveillance ever since. And I also mentioned that my ex-husband blocked me from his social media accounts. I would feel really disrespected when he shared certain posts about fucking other women. But that made me the problem. So he would keep talking about fucking other women, but I couldn't see it. But he fucked up. He forgot to block my aunt in California. So when she sees him in Colombia with another woman, she gives me a call. Now I had to catch her up. So now the cat was out the bag. So my ex-husband asked me for his social security card and his birth certificate, the copy of our life insurance policy. He gives me a fucking handshake and leaves. Before he left, my ex-husband told me I was a stupid bitch for leaving him for cheating. Because all I was going to do was get with somebody else and they were going to cheat on me too. But I told him at least the next nigga that cheated on me would be able to make me come. And at that point, I hadn't had sex in 12 months. So that dude I was texting in March, he came to the house bringing Tito's and snacks. We watched the Game of Thrones finale together. And he out of me. Baby! And we still cool to this day.
Now remember, She couldn't be emotionally satisfied unless she was emotionally connected to the person. She couldn't be attracted to a guy unless she was emotionally attracted because she's a demisexual. So where is the truth?
But the next morning, I get a phone call. It's my ex-husband who already fucking hates me. Now he extra hates me because he saw a bald-headed black man with a beard pull up in a BMW to the house. He keeps saying he don't give a fuck what I do. I ain't his bitch, but he ain't figured out how to act like he don't give a fuck. And the next part is when shit really gets crazy.
Now listen, I will let you guys continue this saga if you choose to on your own. But I just found this interesting. I enjoyed the mess of it. I enjoyed that she got everything that was coming to her. People like this, people like that are just such low character people. They lie about everything. The contradictions are everywhere, and they're willing to put it. They're willing to put it on wax. They're going to record. What did Mr. He said this the other day. Mr. He said this the other day. Do people forget that this stuff is recorded, that they're recording this stuff and that people have memories? Like, bro, she is directly I wasn't even attracted to my husband because we got to have emotional connection. I was never emotionally safe. But meanwhile, this man you're texting, you're attracted to him enough. So you're a liar. You're just a liar. And liars can't be trusted. This trick, man, Ty Lieber.
This bitch.
For real. Like, she's one of them people. She's one of them people. But again, I did not go back and finish the whole divorce because by this point, she had so many back and forths, and I was filing and he's filing. He asked for divorce, but I'm filing the paperwork, but then he's having second thoughts, but then it was so crazy. But I enjoyed it. It was an enjoyable ride. Was it enjoyable for you too? I enjoyed the ride of it. But after a while, you do got to get up the ride. So I did not finish the whole divorce saga because she did have one where she talked about almost killing him. He like somebody who suspects their girl of cheating. He said, I'll be home in 3 days because he's on the road. He's a truck driver. I guess I'm doing what Leah wanted. I'm condensing. So of course she's in the middle of the night hearing somebody creep through the house. She pulls out her guns, ready to shoot him, but he says, "Candace. She's like, I thought you wasn't gonna be home for 3 days." He was like, what'd he say? He said something like, I lied or something. He was trying to I thought he was gonna say I was trying to surprise you, but that's not what he said. It was something stupid. But he just wanted to see, I wanted to see what would happen or something. But he was checking up on her. He was just trying to check and make sure she was being honest. And why would he need to do that? Why would he not trust her? I seriously hope she is telling the tale from some book or movie. That would be nice. But again, these kids are going to grow up. And if her social media stays up, they're going to be subject to all kinds of ridicule because of what she's putting out there about their father. Not only is it might hurt them about to hear about their father the way she's talking about him, but if the kids that go to school with her kid, man, we would flame somebody. If I found your mom's TikTok, and back when I was school, and it was this, bro, I'm studying everything. I'm calling your mom a trick because she got trichinosis. I'm through this whole thing, and we are going to tear you up every time. Bullying. Oh, it would be epic. We would be having notes. We would have like what flashcards. We'd be doing flashcards, learning all about your mom and your dad's history. We'd be doing a timeline on it. We'd be having a school project to make a diorama about how your mom was in this room with the bald black dude and your dad was outside. We'd do all kinds of petty stuff. That's how we grew up. It was terrible. And I know some of these kids are the same way. Her kids are going to get eaten alive when they get old enough if this stuff is still on the internet. She thinks it's okay now because they're young. But still, man, you're embarrassing everybody. Why would you put your stuff, airing dirty laundry? That's not cool. And I know she thinks she's clean on this. I know she thinks she's pure on this because he's the one, he's the problem, he's the asshole, he's the narcissist, he's the autistic person. How is he everything? And you're perfect. But yeah, I thought that was a mess. I thought that was funny. So I am going to get ready to head out of here. I don't know when my next stream will be on YouTube, guys, or what it will be about. I haven't planned anything. So look out for a thumbnail. I'll be here when I be here. I will see y'all soon. And what did I start the stream with? How did I start this stream? I don't remember how I started this stream, yo. Did I do an intro? I did the thong song. Okay. All right. Cool. So we'll go ahead and just do some shots on the way out.
Shit, shots round the table, celebrations with my label. These are my 4 brothers, ain't no room for no haters, no. I think I need a shot, though. I got some I really need a shot, though. I got some haters, Tonight I'm going drinking till my liquor gone.